This integrated audio-video control professional course will take a closer look at HDMI switchers. You're going to use an HDMI switcher anytime you have multiple sources with a single display, and you may have a limited amount of inputs at the display, perhaps only 1 or 2 HDMI inputs, while you have more sources that you'd like to view at that display. Or perhaps you have many HDMI connectors on your television display, but you only have a single wire getting you to that monitor. So we see switchers used very commonly in conference room, classrooms, any kind of presentation applications, huddle spaces included there, and even in theater viewing where you have a single projector and needing to select a connected video source out of the many connected. When using an HDMI switcher, you want to consider distances. Perhaps you'll need an HD-based-T extender. You want to consider, is this going to one display or more? And perhaps then you'll use a distribution amplifier. You want to consider, what do I need to do for audio in this system? Many products from KeyDigital feature audio de-embedding. And you'll want to consider, how will you be controlling this switcher? Because it's not like a splitter where the signal just always goes, the same signal goes to all outputs. You do need a control to choose input 1, 2, 3, or 4. So we're going to begin with the KD Pro 2x1 and KD Pro 4x1 professional digital video switchers. We call these our professional products because it has a full assortment of features for professional applications, including the output audio de-embed, auto switching, being app ready so that the KeyDigital app will scan and find this device, supporting UHD resolutions up to 18 gigabits per second, and supporting HDCP 2.2. Let's take a look at one of the most common integration tools used on the KD Pro 2x1, KD Pro 4x1. This is intelligent auto sensing, and not only having auto sensing, but also having the ability to lock it in to the on or off position. This is very useful for conference rooms, classrooms, anytime that the user perhaps doesn't have the smarts or the time to learn how to operate a switcher by control system and have to take the time to learn how to learn what the GUI does for you from a professional control system. And the concept is quite simple. It's activated by hot plug detection. Hot plug detection is voltage on the HDMI line that we've covered in previous courses, and will continue to cover how KeyDigital utilizes hot plug detection to our benefit. So if you connect a source into the switch, auto sensing will automatically, if auto sensing is enabled, the switcher will automatically switch discretely into that newly connected input. You can also disconnect your source, and the switcher will sequentially advance to find the next available connected input. And if auto sensing isn't enough, there's another brilliant integration tool on the KD Pro 2x1, KD Pro 4x1, that is triggered sensing. So you can hardwire a simple button, such as a doorbell, into the two ports, the trigger in, voltage in, and the ground of the control Phoenix terminal on the rear of the KD Pro switcher. And by sensing voltage, it will sequentially advance from input 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and 4 back to 1 again. Yet another integration tool for the KD Pro 2x1, KD Pro 4x1 is the output audio de-embed. The audio of the selected source is de-embedded onto the analog 6-pin Phoenix, analog 3.5 mini, and PCM digital audio port. That is in addition, of course, to being audio and video on the HDMI output connector. Now keep in mind though, there are no DSP features, so there's no volume control, no EQ on these audio de-embed outputs, nor is there any up or down conversion. So we take a look at this chart here, and if you'd like to have analog audio out, you need to ensure that your audio input signal format is 2-channel PCM. And you could do that through the EDID control, as we've learned, and as we'll discuss throughout the IAVC Level 1 course. So here we are looking at the Pro 2x1, and we see that EDID rotary can be fixed to any of these 16 positions so that you can inform the connected source what handshake, what audio video format that source should give this system in order to distribute successfully to the monitor. And the EDID table that you see here is pretty simple actually. We allow the copy from the connected output device in case it's very old or perhaps very new or perhaps not standard. It's as if you're connected the source directly into that monitor at setting 0. And then from there, setting 1, 2, and 3 are all 1080i handshakes with 3 different audio options: 2-channel, 5.1, and HD. That's 7.1 audio formats. From there, 4, 5, 6 is 1080p with 2-channel, 5.1, and 7.1 audio. 7, 8, 9 is 4K at 30 frames per second. That's that HDMI 1.4 4K, if you will. 2-channel, 5.1, and 7.1. A, B, and C, 4K at 60 frames, 2-channel, 5.1, 7.1 audio. And D, E, and F are DVI format handshakes that have no audio, in fact, because DVI connector has no audio as well. But in case you need to integrate into a DVI projector, DVI monitor, these handshakes will be very useful for you. Now, in addition to EDID, part of our full buffer suite is that hot plug detection. The Pro 2x1, Pro 4x1, however, does not have a toggle switch for that setting. So you use the IR remote control or RS-232 or TCP/IP interface to activate forced hot plug detection mode. So forced hot plug detection is voltage over HDMI. And again, you got the switcher here, but you may also have many other layers of connectivity like extenders, wall plates, etc. That voltage might dip beneath the threshold of acceptance or of recognition by the source. So let's go ahead and force on hot plug detection to ensure that the source is always seeing that it's connected to a monitor. Even if that display is powered off, the source will always think it's connected to an active monitor. And that is a big benefit, so that it's always outputting. Then it may even increase your speed up your sync time, getting you video on the display that much faster. Now, being that the KD Pro 2x1 and KD Pro 4x1 have TCP/IP control, that makes them KeyDigital app ready. And you take a look here at this very simple interface. The KeyDigital app will scan the network and find any KeyDigital device there. And any KeyDigital app ready device gives you a pre-built GUI. Now you can name those inputs and outputs yourself, providing friendly names. It is not stored in the app. It is stored in the KD Pro 2x1 or KD Pro 4x1 switcher, which is a nice benefit because you don't want the app to be the storage place for that information. Because if so, then you would have to ask every user to set up the naming. So it's stored in the switcher, so it's the responsibility of the integrator. But then the KD app will parse that information from the device and display that friendly naming. It's very simple 2 or 4 input buttons with 1 output button. And if you wanted to see additional information on what commands are available, you can connect in on RS-232 or TCP/IP, send the help or status command. We will go over more of these settings in the Integrated Audio Video Control Professional course on the 2nd level. From the professional switchers to the small, slim chassis KDS 2x1, KDS 4x1. These are low profile units at an extremely low price point that would enable you to use a professional product in a budget, in a project that perhaps doesn't have a professional budget available, or perhaps just does not have available space for mounting the professional switcher, or perhaps does not need the full assortment of connectivity options that the professional switcher offers. So we have KDS 2x1 and KDS 4x1, push button and IR controllable devices that are full 18G UHD 4K resolution support with HDCP 2.2 and HDR10 information on the EDID handshakes. We can take a look side by side with a iPhone 7 Plus here to get an idea of the how slim and how compact these units are. The S4x1 is not even as wide. The S2x1 and is not even as wide as an iPhone 7, and the S4x1 is approximately the same width as an iPhone 7 Plus. But when you get these units in hand, you'll notice they feel very, very robust. We're not sacrificing metal for plastic with these devices. Now, these units do not have EDID handshake rotaries, so instead you use the infrared IR remote control there, and it's a real simple sequence there. You see these R1, R2, R3 buttons to the right hand side, and then we use that numerical keypad. And the sequence is R3, R1, R2, X, X to choose the handshake that you wish to provide your connected video source from this EDID table. Also, using the IR remote control, we can force hot plug detection voltage, or we could just allow it to pass through the switcher from the display to the connected sources. That sequence, R1, R2, R3, 0, 0 to force on, so that the connected source always sees that there is an active monitor, regardless of if that display projector is on or off. Or 0, 1 to bypass voltage so that it sees high and low hot plug detection. And we thank you for viewing this integrated audio video control level 1 course.